Okay, one way to go in and select an object that's on the page, sometimes it's easier to select the background and do a select inverse. Now, I'm going to show you an easier way toward the end because it's a new command in Photoshop. But one of the things we can see here is like in this background up here, it's very similar in color, white and green, so that makes it easier to select. So if I take my magic wand and I click in this area, you can see I get most of that green area. Okay, and I can hold down my shift key and I can just click. I can also go up and increase the tolerance level to basically look for more shades of that color, and when I do so, it's going to select more continuously. But again, with a couple clicks, I can go in and get most of this selected. Now you can see here I can tweak this up here. It's not getting everything I want over here on the left hand side. So you see how it's coming in the head area. I can also use the Alt key or Option key on the Mac to basically click and subtract that area. But see how what happens here with the magic wand? So this is where you would have to decrease the tolerance down if I was going to work with this. Okay, see how that automatically just subtracted it down. I changed down the tolerance. So the thing here as we're working with this is knowing how the magic wand tool works, and I can use the shift key to add, and being able to go in and control and change the tolerance becomes important. Now I still think there's a little area I still have to work with the text down here. I'm not going to worry about that. But see, then what I would do is then I can do a couple things. I can go up to select an inverse, and now this object is selected, the couple. Now I still would have to tweak around her hair, and I could use the select mask if I wanted to. So one of the things that, yes, it can be easier to select the background, but just keep in mind you have to learn the different controls of different the tools. So one of the things I also do, let's go up here. We can use the quick selection tool. Now the quick selection tool is based on color as well, and in this case I'm not going to select the background unless I needed to apply a filter to it. I can start up here at the very top, and it's going to paint this selection. And it's doing a pretty good job on this. Might get a little trickier when I get to the hair area. And when you get to this part, this is where you have to adjust the brush size down. So again, you have to go back and forth. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll use the keyboard shortcuts on my keyboard. As you see here, my brush size gets larger. See how that goes up? Now it's at 25. And that's because I'm using the right square bracket to increase the brush size, left square bracket to decrease. And if you know that, then it makes your life a lot easier when you have to select this. But the easiest way to do this, because Photoshop, they've gone in and adjusted certain commands, they've added a command that allows you to go in and select the subject that's in front of you. And it looks based on the background, and so in this case it sees that this is a high quality image detailed wise, so it knows to go in and select this. And you can go up, if you have any of your selection tools, you can actually click on the button here that says select subject, or you can just go up to select in your menu system and choose subject. Takes a second or two, then all of a sudden it has everything selected that we needed to. Now the only problem, of course, is that some areas need to be tweaked, did not get selected for some reason. So I can use the quick selection tool if I wanted to, and make those adjustments if I need to. I still think I need to tweak it up here and so forth, but in theory it did a pretty good job for that. So then I could do, if I wanted to, I can select this, go up and copy and paste it somewhere. I can move it to a different location. Most likely I'm going to go in and work with the select and mask. I'm just going to refine the selection a little bit more just to make sure. Okay, so once I get in here, I can use the select mask mode to go in and fine tune those edges around here. And so you have the view menu up here that you can adjust what you're seeing. So that way if you want to see the selection edges a little more detail, you can do so. But typically one of the things I do is I just go in and I paint around the edges where I think I need help. And in this case it really comes down to also the brush size. I use the refine edge brush tool and I basically come in and I paint over the area where I think I don't need. And Photoshop's going to do a nice job of looking what the background is and coming up with the selected area that you need to. So you really just take your time, you paint around the edges, and you're going to get a little bit more of a smoother look. So up here at the very top, I just paint around this, and there we go. So once you fine tune it, work with again most of the selection, you still got to fine tune it. You got to fine tune it, and one of the best ways of doing it is select mask. When I click OK here, the marching ants are still there. Okay, and then like I said, I can copy and paste this to another image if I wanted to, and do adjustments to that.